The Checkpoint is presented by GM Pharma, the first international multinational pharmaceutical company in Georgia. GM Pharma, to serve those who need it most.
The government of Georgia plans to build a government district area on Arsenale Hill, Tbilisi. According to the design market research announced by the Municipal Development Fund, ministries as well as Tbilisi City Hall, the government administration and the Parliament of Georgia will relocate to the new 77-hectare government district. Parliament also approved the final version of the 2026 state budget with 80 votes in favor and 9 against. Under the budget, government spending will increase by 2.9 billion Georgian lari next year, reaching 30.9 billion Georgian lari. Within 2 days, under an expedited procedure, Parliament reviewed and approved through 3 readings the government-initiated amendments to the law on higher education, along with accompanying draft laws. According to preliminary third quarter data published by Geostat, Georgia received $533.2 million in foreign direct investment, which is twice as much as a year earlier. The increase in FDI is mainly driven by growth in debt liabilities. Fees for a number of services regulated by the Service Agency of the Ministry of Internal Affairs will increase significantly. The legislative initiative has already been submitted to Parliament and is being considered under an expedited procedure. The amendment will be introduced to the Customs Code of Georgia as well. According to the Ministry of Internal Affairs, the aim of the project is to restore balance between existing tariffs and the scope of services provided. The most significant increase, 640%, applies to the issuance of transit license plates. The fee for issuing a transit plate will rise to 370 Georgian lari from the current 500 Georgian lari. First Deputy Minister of Economy and Sustainable Development Nino Enukidze says that mandatory nationwide aesthetic regulatory standards will be introduced, defining materials and colors for building facades, roofs and fences. According to her, this will serve as a baseline document for municipalities to follow when making decisions. According to data, for the first 11 months of the year, Georgia's airport recorded a historic high in both passenger traffic and the number of flights, specifically from January to November. Georgian airports served 7,863,000 passengers, representing a 14% year-on-year increase.
This is The Checkpoint. I'm Eleni Kwanchilashvili, author and the host of the show, and the Checkpoint's team is ready to sum up business and economics week for you. Construction of Ambassadori Island Batumi is moving rapidly with 26 hectares of new land already in use and 48 hectares expected by January. CEO Gochak Amkia says land formation and project development are progressing in parallel and 3 major business projects are already underway. One of them will rise above ground by spring, marking the island's first visible structure. The site also includes the newly announced Tonino Lamborghini Tower Batumi and 120,000 square meter shopping center by IG Development. Overall, Ambassadori Island aims to transform 84 hectares of reclaimed land into a modern, sustainable, smart city destination.
The pace subsequent to our last meeting and based on the plans you articulated and announced is truly exceeding expectations, and I am certain I'm not an exemption. What are the investors and shareholders who I am sure are engaged in this entire process in a different regime currently observing? Specifically, what are the concrete results we have achieved to date?
As of today, we indeed have exceptional results, particularly in meeting our public commitment. 26 hectares of the peninsula have been commissioned. Furthermore, as a result of very active construction work, approximately 20 hectares of land have already been created on the second peninsula. We are currently preparing to commission a total of 48 hectares of land by January. This island is not merely a construction site. It has become a living organism with its own positive processes. In this context, I would like to note that currently with the island's physical construction, we have also established a parallel development dynamic, which means that 3 major projects are already underway at this location, each requiring dedicated attention and description.
Regarding the work currently being executed here, could you elaborate on the construction activities, the involvement and number of personnel and the overall scale? I understand that practically the entire region is engaged in the endeavor.
With a project of this magnitude, the human element is naturally present. This is not a transient business venture built solely on economic indicators. We must fundamentally address the 3 core principles underpinning this project. First and foremost, it is the tremendous efficiency and unwavering support from state institutions. Accordingly, the driving force behind this project is the timely decision-making provided by the government. Second, I would specifically highlight the discipline of the company's founder, Mr. Buba Keburia, which is instrumental in the creation of this venture and elevates the project's overall efficiency to a very high standard. And third, of course, it is the dedicated management team who are, it must be said, abnormally passionate about this project.
Are you required to make any course corrections, and could you provide further insight into the level of involvement? You referred to this location as a living organism. How is the region integrated given the support from local and federal government level?
I fundamentally believe the main cornerstone of this success is the company's strategically correct planning. We first embodied the philosophy of attracting international success and global expertise to this project, aiming to create a unique environment in Georgia where both Georgian and foreign individuals would have the opportunity for self-realization. The next crucial step was identifying leaders who would fully embrace this vision and elevate it to new heights. Regarding the involvement of Autonomous Republic's government, we are of course immensely grateful. We have daily communication with the local authorities. We receive unwavering support from government of the Ajara Autonomous Republic and the current mayor of Batumi. In the event of any identified issue, state institutions demonstrate great efficiency in supporting this project. What does this entail? Firstly, subsequent to the 26 hectares being commissioned and the land certified as suitable for construction, we have already obtained the necessary permits for an ultra-modern building. Active foundation and piling works are currently underway here, and by spring we anticipate the structure will be visible above ground level.
What is the height of this building complex?
It is a 58-story building, an ultra-modern complex encompassing a hotel, apartments, indoor and outdoor pools, a lounge, a leisure and wellness center, duplexes, and a designated helicopter landing pad or helipad. This will serve as the first significant signal to everyone that the Batumi Island is now fully operational and hosting people. The second critical project, which was recently announced at this location and was covered by your television channel, is the Lamborghini Tower presentation, executed by an independent investor, FK Develop. It is positioned as exclusive, collectible real estate, and it is a momentous occasion as we are engaging with the historic Lamborghini family. The fact that this family's attention has been focused on Batumi is, we must state clearly, an event of global significance for our country. The third item, which I will share with you exclusively, and you certainly deserve this information, is another upcoming project on Batumi Island. The contract has already been executed. Specifically, the distinguished Georgian businessman, Mr. Mindias Abanadze, IG Development, along with his exceptional team, has initiated the development of an ultra-modern, multifunctional shopping center in Batumi. It will span approximately 100,000 square meters, implementing a concept that currently has no analog in Georgia.
Given this remarkable paces and the current situation, what is the disposition of your founder and how does he monitor this project? Furthermore, since you and I appear to be setting certain timelines for each other, what can we expect to encounter during our next meeting? Does your observation of the current project execution allow you to state, for instance, that in a 3 months' time, or perhaps by the end of the year or by January, which you and I are focused on as a time for the legalization and full legal commissioning of the 48 hectares, there will be further substantial changes and progress.
In this instance, inspirational steps naturally emanate from the central figures, which is, of course, our company's founder, Mr. Keburia. We can state directly that he operates without limits. His energy is precisely what drives the management team's affection for this project. We always strive to achieve significantly greater results during every subsequent visit or working meeting than originally planned or anticipated. This stems from the conviction, held by everyone and primarily by the company's founder, that this is a historic process for the country, designed to create a project that will showcase our nation in a unique light. This is the logical outcome of the entire endeavor. Regarding future plans, I have already discussed the 3 ongoing projects. We also have future positive changes planned, both in terms of project enhancement and potential for new investment groups. With your permission, I will reserve those details for your next visit, as they are currently in the planning stage and we will soon share them as realized ideas.
More on business from Natia Taktakishvili.
Zurab Eristavi, founder of Rentals and Eristavi Estate, declares that the rising share of internal installments in real estate transactions has become a notable trend. Recent data from TBC Capital shows that in first 10 months of 2025, 73% of apartment sales in Tbilisi's primary market were made through developers' internal installments. Only 7% of buyers relied on mortgage loans, while 20% purchased with cash. Eristavi told BMDG that dependence of more than 70% on internal installment is unusually high and risky. According to him, developers often lack the expertise to properly access the solvency of buyers, unlike banks, which closely monitor clients' cash flows and credit risk. In many cases, developers often extremely low or even zero down payments, leaving them with little leverage if a buyer later becomes unable to pay. According to Eristavi, this dynamic creates vulnerabilities for developers whose construction process largely depends on ongoing sales. If buyers fail to meet their installment obligations, developers might face liquidity problems. He stressed that if transactions are processed through banks, the sector would have clearer insight into borrowers' quality and overall financial stability. Meanwhile, the National Bank of Georgia is preparing regulatory changes aimed at reducing the widespread use of internal installment plans and increasing access to mortgage loans. The MBG says that reforms are intended to strengthen responsible lending standards, ultimately making the real estate market more stable and transparent. Erekli Kokaya, executive director of In Group Hotels, reports that bookings at their Gudauri hotel have already reached 80% for this season. The majority of reservations come from Israel and Gulf countries, with Lithuania representing the largest share from Europe. Kokaya notes that individual travelers are now more common than group tours that previously dominated. According to Kokaya, the number of tourists is more important than their spending power. Last year, there was strong demand from both very low budget and five-star hotels, while mid-range accommodation facilities suffered. It's not that 10 wealthy guests are better than 100 average ones. The larger number of visitors creates more jobs and benefits the local economy, he said. Hotel prices in Gudauri are expected to rise from 10% to 20% these seasons, translating to about 60 lari per night for a double room. Kokaya emphasizes that despite price increase, attracting a higher volume of visitors is crucial for the sector's growth and sustainability. Infrastructure and environmental issues remain a challenge for the resort. Kokaya highlights the urgent need for bypass road to reduce traffic on main roads, protect the environment and enhance safety. Additionally, pedestrian paths are still lacking, limiting accessibility for visitors and creating logistical problems for hotel operations. Georgian technology company Roamingo, which provides simple and affordable international mobile internet, continues to expand its services. As managing partner Levan Giladze explained on BMG2's Business Morning, the idea was born from the drawback of traditional roaming, expensive, slow and unreliable internet that often created stress for travelers. Roamingo's main innovation is its one-click international eSIM, enabling instant activation of high-quality internet in more than 190 countries through over 1,000 operators. Giladze notes that the cost of 1 gigabyte is cheaper than a bottle of water at the airport. The platform also integrates a built-in VPN, allowing users to access blocked websites and apps while abroad. The company has added features intended for travel conveniences, including an automatic data extension that provides extra megabytes when the user runs out of internet, helping them to reach a hotel or Wi-Fi zone without interruption. Although Roamingo initially targeted individual customers, it has quickly entered the B2B sector. Today, insurance companies, banks, travel agencies and airlines include Roamingo in their service packages. The company also has a strategic partnership with Visa, strengthening its international positioning. The perfume market in Georgia expanded by 28% in 2024, according to the financial reports from country's leading companies. Combined sales of three largest players, Lisi, Paris, Lutzi and Vulevus, reached 158 million lari, up by 35 million lari from the previous year. Including duty-free sales at airports, the total market volume exceeded 200 billion lari. Lisi Paris remains the largest market player, operating 20 stores nationwide. In 2024, it recorded 70 million lari in sales with a profit of 10.5 million lari. Lutzi followed with 68 million lari in sales. The growth made up 39% and generated 9 million lari in profits through 13 stores. Vulevus received 20 million lari in sales. The growth was 30%, while the profit stood at 1.3 million lari from its 10 stores. Duty-free terminals are another key segment of the market. ATU Georgia, the operator of duty-free trade at international airports, reported total sales of 127 million lari, with 42 million lari coming from perfumes and cosmetics, which was 44% annual increase. Duty-free outlets contribute significantly to overall market growth and consumer access, including both retail and duty-free channels. The perfume market in Georgia reached 202 million lari in 2024. The growth reflects rising consumer demand for fragrances and cosmetics, as well as extension of retail and airport-based outlets across the country. Georgi Khabashvili, general director of hypermarket chain Goodwill, says that rising food prices in Georgia are not caused by supermarket markups. In a competitive market, chains cannot impose high margins without losing customers. Khabashvili explained that the majority of the final price goes to the supplier. For example, if a product costs 10 lari, 8 lari goes directly to the supplier. The remaining 2 lari covers salaries, rent and other operating expenses. Supermarkets make only about 3 lari profit per 100 lari of sales, he said. Markups on most products range 5 or 12%, and on essential likes eggs, bread, milk and oil, they average 15%, meaning that price hikes largely don't pass through supermarkets. He attributes the increase in food prices primarily to import dependence, noting that importing a container from the EU costs €7,000 plus domestic logistics, rising the final costs. High rental fees and higher production costs abroad also contribute. Khabashvili added that EU subsidies for certain food products help keep prices low. In many European countries, dairy and other primary products are subsidized, and some are even exempt from VAT. As a result, retail prices they are often lower than in Georgia, he said. Hotel prices in Georgia continue to decline, and according to industry experts, the trend is driven not only by seasonal factors but also by significant oversupply in accommodation market. As Katy Amirbar, founder of company Amirbar, told BMGTV, the market has become saturated with various types of lodging options. She notes that the scale of available accommodation from hotels to private homes has increased so sharply that balanced pricing has become difficult to maintain. Amirbar highlights that hotels are now forced to compete not only with one another but also with daily rental apartments and private houses, which have rapidly multiplied in the recent years. According to her, while the off-season naturally contributes to lower prices, the primary issue is the overcrowded market structure. Private holiday homes and rental properties directly target the same mid-range audience as hotels, further intensifying competition. As a result, prices are constantly pushed downward, particularly in regions. This problem is especially pronounced in Kakheti, where the number of alternative accommodations has surged. Tbilisi also faces price pressure. Amirbar points out that platforms like Airbnb have introduced thousands of additional private properties into the market, approximately 9,000 new listings, making it increasingly difficult for hotels to stay competitive. These factors collectively prevent the stabilization of room rates and contribute to the ongoing downward trend. After Israel, Ipkli is now attracting interest from the Chinese market. The company's marketing manager, Sopio Bediashvili, told BMWG the focus is on the company's diabetic bread Diapur, which was originally produced for charitable purposes, is now gaining commercial significance abroad. Bediashvili explained that production of this bread began about 10 years ago at the request of the patriarch due to the rising diabetic cases in Georgia. China is primarily a rice-consuming country, but it values preventive and healthy nutrition. We are the only Georgian company offering diabetic bread. A delegation tried our samples and responded positively, she said. Exporting to China will require compliance with local standards similar to previously preparations for Israel. However, scaling production for China presents challenges. Supplying just one city requires significantly higher output, potentially 100 times more than current ones. This might require new equipment and expanded workforce, a challenge given Georgia's labor shortage. Personnel costs are a key factor in product pricing, and we still have several operational issues to resolve before accurate predictions can be made. Bediashvili noted. Founded in Georgia, Ipkli currently operates 3 factories in Diromi, Vashli and Kutaisi. The company employs more than 600 people and has already established a successful export track around Israel. Starbucks is officially entering the Georgian market. According to the exclusive information obtained by BMWG, the brand will be introduced in Georgia by the Arabic Al-Shaya Group, with their Turkish office directly overseeing operations in the country. Official representatives of Starbucks have visited Tbilisi several times, are expected to finalize details during the current week. At the initial stage, Starbucks plans to open stores in Tbilisi, Kutaisi and Batumi. Over the next 8 years, the brand aims to expand to up to 50 branches across Georgia. The first store is expected to open in Tbilisi's Vaka district in March 2026. Additionally, a Starbucks location is planned for Tbilisi Outlet Village, with active negotiations ongoing. Kugatsanova, shareholder and managing partner of the Georgian Outlet and Resort Group, confirmed to BMDG that discussions with Starbucks are progressing. He noted that interest in entering the Georgian market existed even before the COVID-19 pandemic, but the plans were delayed. Negotiations and preparations have been ongoing for approximately a year. At this stage, pricing for Starbucks products in Georgia has not been disclosed. For context, Starbucks is an American company headquartered in Seattle, USA, and is the world's largest coffee house chain. The first Starbucks store opened in Seattle in 1971.
Placemakers, a new development leader in the Georgian market, has embarked on its debut project, The Lake at Lisi Lake. This prestigious new district, combining private residences with the iconic lake house concept, is set to become a strategic center of attraction for Tbilisi. Nodar Adaishvili and Zura Pichkaya, partners at Placemakers, have already discussed the company's executive vision on the TV program Business Week in early November. The founders confirmed that the project leverages a powerful mix of local and international expertise, with the total investment in the flagship development reaching USD 50 million. The center of the project, the Lake House, will be a global collaboration designed by the internationally recognized Norwegian architectural firm Snohetta. The founders clarified that this central amenity is not auxiliary but rather a core function designed to serve both residents and external guests, housing high-end restaurants, a pool, a spa, a fitness center, and office spaces. Georgi Isakadze will guide you further in what seems to be a new word in international collaboration. And I will leave you off with this amazing narrative and see you next Sunday. Take care.
This year, I was lucky. In terms of business travel, I visited 3 Scandinavian countries. The final destination was Norway and its capital city. While exploring Oslo, both online and through the lens of artificial intelligence, one of Norway's most remarkable landmarks that immediately stands out is the Oslo National Opera and Ballet Building. It is always listed among the must-see local attractions. Digging deeper into the background of the opera house, one detail proudly stands out. It was designed by Snohetta. You can easily find the Oslo Opera House on any platform when searching the word Oslo. There might be 2 possible reasons or short stories for you to deliver. First, when Snohetta designed and later constructed the project, the area where we're standing right now was completely undeveloped. The opera house truly boosted the infrastructure, leading to rapid development, and this area became one of the most prestigious in Norway, establishing the place as a true landmark of Oslo. A second story, perhaps more of a legend, is about the Edvard Munch Museum, which is also located nearby. This tall, tilting tower with perforated aluminum panels housing the world's largest collection of Munch's works was designed by a Spanish architectural studio. As usually happens, there was a lot of criticism about the building design. In essence, E-Studio Herreros recognizes the Oslo Opera House as a pivotal architectural moment that shaped their vision for public context-sensitive design in dialogue with nature, as seen in their related projects in the same area. This is one of Norway's and world's leading architectural bureaus. Why proudly? Because this company is our host, and among their upcoming plans is also entering Georgia and participating in the design of one of the country's most outstanding new complexes. How did it happen that a global icon of architecture is coming to Georgia to take part in a landmark project in Tbilisi, capital of Georgia? More on that a bit later. First, let's back at the history of Snohetta and some of their key works. Snohetta was founded in 1987 by Kjetil Tredal Thorsen and a young group of architects. The studio was named in honor of one of Norway's mountains. International recognition came soon. In 1989, the newly founded company, together with architect Craig Dykers, submitted a joint proposal for the reconstruction of the Library of Alexandria. They won, and the new Biblioteca Alexandrina opened in 2001. For this project, as well as the design of Oslo's magnificent opera house, Snohetta received the prestigious World Architecture Award. The Opera House project also earned the Mies van der Rohe Award, as well as EDRA and the European Prize for the best design of public urban spaces. In 2010, the company led by Kjetil Tredal Thorsen received another global award, this time for its outstanding contribution to sustainable architecture. Beyond the Library of Alexandria and the National Opera and Ballet Building, Snohetta portfolio includes major landmark projects, such as redesign of Times Square in New York and the 9/11 Memorial Museum, the King Abdulaziz Center for World Culture in Saudi Arabia, Europe's first underwater restaurant, and large-scale projects like the Theodore Roosevelt Presidential Library, the spectacular Shanghai Grand Opera House, and the Beijing Library, the world's largest public reading space to this day. And one more, something we have managed to see personally in Oslo, the vertical Nydalen project. Architecturally, it may be not the most dramatic or iconic, but this is an absolutely unique building in terms of energy efficiency. Snohetta implementing the 000 solution, allowing all offices and residential units in the building to operate without purchasing electricity, neither for heating, cooling, nor ventilation. Yes, exactly like that. Since founding the company in the late 1980s, Snohetta has been guided by essential Scandinavian values, sustainability and responsibility. Every project considers environmental and cultural context. Today, Snohetta is a team of roughly 400 professionals.
So we have studios in Oslo, that's the largest studio. Then we have in New York, Paris, Innsbruck, Shenzhen, Hong Kong, Adelaide and Melbourne. So we are covering a global footprint. And obviously we are most renowned for our culture project. Yeah, you were mentioning the Oslo Opera, where we also managed to transform an opera typology into a completely new venue, like putting the collective, the public space first, also kind of transforming normally a very high-end culture venue into a public destination, putting this public accessible, walkable roof on top of the opera. So we've seen this has kind of transformed the mindset in the opera worldwide. So we see a lot of the operas now, they request a walkable roof, which is obviously very interesting. So our most renowned project are the Alexandria Library. We work with the 9/11 memorial in New York, the Oslo Opera, obviously, and now we have currently under construction the Shanghai Opera and the Diriyah Opera House in Riyadh, which is another important venue in our portfolio. And the other project I would love to mention is obviously we're working a lot with Public Realm, the Times Square in New York. We have been working on for many years, and also here in Oslo, the entire Karl Johan inner city center, yes, all the kind of the pavements and the Public Realm we have been working on. So this is also an important part in our portfolio. And we love to work with transformations, so brownfield developments where we have mixed use, working with also the private sector. We found these very, very interesting, and also introducing new sustainability ambitions into developments. These are very important aspects for our work. So the added value in all levels, it's an important kind of driver in our work.
Alongside preparing for this movie and recording interviews, our hosts gave us a small tour of their exceptional office. And here we immediately saw the true scale and grandeur of Snohita, headquarters of Le Monde Group, the breathtaking Busan Opera House, a major redevelopment project in Sydney, Australia, on Darling Harbour, the incredible new headquarters of the Norwegian Broadcasting Corporation. The two continued, and at one point, an unexpected discovery. To be honest, I was not aware, and being here in this office, yes, the architecture and design company Snohita designed one side, the reverse or back of the current series of Norwegian krone banknotes. The undulating waves and pixelated patterns of the notes vary with each specific banknote design, whether a 50, 100, 200, 500 or 1000 kroner note. The design proposals were adapted by the Central Bank of Norway to comply with strict security measures. At the same time, an intense work session was underway where final details for the lake house were being coordinated with placemakers managing partners. A structure with a unique architectural vision and multiple functions, offering leisure, recreation and business spaces under one roof. Representatives of SALT projects also joined remotely, participating in shaping the concept and future management framework. Bringing together a group of this scale around a single project is already a foundation for success. But there are additional factors that led to the collaboration between placemakers and Snohita. One of Snohita's directors explains this best.
We were very intrigued being approached by placemakers to develop this unique project at the Lisi Lake, which will be kind of a hospitality venue and kind of being very visible also from the city center. So we were very intrigued by the mindset, the openness, the curiosity on the client side to also embed all the values that we are standing for and bringing this co-creation into a reality. So we really enjoyed so far the process working on that project. We see a lot of similarities because Norway is also quite an entrepreneurial country. So we see the same kind of mindset that one put a lot of attention and effort to bringing something into reality. So we find there is a similar mindset in how to approach projects of that kind, which we find very, very interesting. So we hope that this is just the starting point of a bigger journey.
We also managed to speak with Snohita's chief architects. Their vision most accurately conveys the company's perception of the project and the philosophy that will be shaped into the lake house.
The story we want to tell with this building is the story of togetherness and to bring people together. So we were inspired by the classical courtyards of Tbilisi, the social spaces. So we decided to create the social space in this building as a heart of the building. So the courtyard is organizing the building and creating this social center point. Every project we do is different, and we need to find the inspiration for the project that makes it unique. And here we found the inspiration in the lake and the soft lines of the water to inspire this project to be something new for us, a new concept, a new story that we want to tell. We hope this place will be a gathering space, a social space, a place that brings people together, a place that will be a meeting point for people. So we hope that that will become the landmark, a place for people to be active, to experience new things, to gather. That's what we wish for this building.
Well, I would say one of the most important things that we do at Snohita in every project is that it needs to be very contextual, so it needs to respond to its immediate and larger context. In particular, in the case of this project, we were really inspired by the Tbilisi National Park, the mesophilous forest that you find there, and then the steppe vegetation that you find in the region. This is kind of the starting inspiration for the landscape of the project. I think that its location next to the lake, first of all, is very important. In a way, I think of the project as an extension of the lake itself. You know, there are recreational activities today in the lake, and we're including additional activities in the lake house project. So in a way, it becomes an extension of Lisi Lake itself. We think that it'll serve the whole city, even though it's located within that particular area near the lake. We think it'll serve the whole city of Tbilisi and hopefully attract people to come out to that area.
Snohita's agreement with placemakers also covers interior design, a strong priority for the Norwegian architects. Every detail, shades, colors and materials is developed on site and presented to the client and partners for final approval.
I think when we started working for the lake house, or the lake in Tbilisi, first what we have done is to come down to Georgia and understand the context and the site and really get a feel of how what is the natural context, but also the cultural context of that place. And I think for that project, we really tried to take inspiration from the lake itself, the Lisi Lake, so the quiet beauty of that lake, but also get inspiration from the textures of the Tbilisi historic kind of built environment, which is very rich. And then kind of blending these two aspects into a unique project that is the lake house. And where we kind of create a destination space that can kind of welcome people to kind of step out of the city, but still reconnect. So it's really like a unique blend of these two influences. We want it to be very welcoming and authentic, but we also want it to be unique and kind of memorable. So we're working with these different directions.
Interior design is also the focus of SALT projects. Another partner responsible for many aspects of the lake house future operation, Valery Chaheria and Levan Berulava, have been involved in the project from day one, which gives them a clear understanding of what the project, Tbilisi and the entire country will gain through the lake.
I don't want to go into too many details right now, because a concept like this doesn't currently exist anywhere else. Levan and I worked on a similar concept in Europe, specifically in Portugal and Greece. This project is a combination of residential homes and villas, along with all the surrounding infrastructure that comes with it.
It's simply a very uniquely integrated special product. Naturally, it's of the highest quality, as is always our home, and we are particularly fond of the design in this project.
Yes, it's primarily designed for its residents, but I'm confident it will also become one of the most attractive destinations for the city as a whole.
That's because it's just 15 minutes from the city center and overlooks Lisi Lake.
It offers an ecologically clean environment, and it's a place where I'm certain many more infrastructural projects will develop in the future.
Before the partnership with Salt Project, there was a long road that Nodar Adeishvili and Zura Pichaya had to take to reach one of the world's top architectural studios. This genre goes through connections with international-level architects and developers, proven by their experience leading the Lisi development project.
Zura Pichaya and I founded the company Placemakers approximately 2 years ago. The core idea was to establish a development company that would create new places. The name Placemakers itself stems directly from this concept. We did, however, consider whether to call it placemaking or placemakers. Ultimately, given that it's a team and individuals, including us, who truly create every single one of these projects, we wanted the name to be people-oriented. That's precisely why we named the company Placemakers. From there, we then sought a project that would strongly align with this placemaking philosophy. And the first project we launched is here at Lisi.
The key link toward Snøhetta was one of Norway's major developers, Mattis Grimstad, who studied at Harvard together with Nodar Adeishvili.
Well, you know, the reason why, my is kind of a, first of all, I'm Norwegian, and Snøhetta is a Norwegian company. I met Nodar from studies in Boston at Harvard, and it's since Snøhetta is such a famous architect company, and it's very internationally known. Snøhetta has built the library in Alexandria in Cairo. They have built the Ground Zero Museum in New York, and they've done projects like the Opera House in Shanghai in China, and also here the Opera House in Oslo. And that's the most famous architect company. I know them because I've been working with them for many years. And just the idea of bringing a Norwegian architecture and a Norwegian style of how to build a building to Georgia, it was natural for me to contact Snøhetta and ask if they were willing to do a project in Georgia.
We wanted to create and find a partner who would not only develop an architecturally interesting project, but also create a new draw brought from our project and for the residents and visitors of Tbilisi alike. That's precisely why we sought out the Norwegian company Snøhetta as a partner. Snøhetta is one of today's leading architectural studios, ranking among the top 10 globally. Through our partnership with them, we created a new project. This project is an integral component of our overarching development, the lake, and the specific part that Snøhetta is working on with us is called Lake House.
Our own team came along and we created, in my opinion, a very interesting company. Its main idea is to create places, true places where people want to live and where people gather for life to flourish. We've been joined by international architects. Snøhetta is one of them. We've also been joined by excellent partners. For example, TVC Bank is our partner who financed the project. Additionally, we've been joined by investors from various countries, diverse international investors, and collectively this project truly coalesced.
Another managing partner of Placemaker, Zura Pichaya, speaks about the unique appeal of the lake, something that sets it apart from any existing project on the market.
The entire essence and philosophy of a company is that people create places. We approach this project with the understanding that we don't simply want to construct 11 buildings. Rather, we aim to build a place designed for people, a place that will acquire new life and be truly engaging to experience. It's with this very philosophy that we embarked on our first project, The Lake, located just behind Lisi Lake. In my view, it's an incredibly interesting project and a truly captivating location, 14 hectares that directly overlook Lisi Lake. We are developing a villa community, and the entire premise and concept behind it is that you experience lakeside living, yet simultaneously reside within a very high-quality neighborhood, meticulously planned and executed with exceptional architecture.
The lake house will consist of several components. It's worth noting that inside here will be a spa, a fitness center, a restaurant, a cafe and kids zone. There will also be other public amenities that are essential for the project's realization and which will generally serve the surrounding communities as well as visiting guests. In total, there are approximately 90 plots of land where various types of villas and private houses will be developed.
And how could it be otherwise? Especially now, it has been just confirmed this is Placemakers' first project at Lisi, a location they know best and are developing into one of Tbilisi's most attractive and desirable districts.
We should definitely highlight Georgian architect Vaho Vysotsky, who is involved in this project. He's responsible for practically the largest portion of the buildings in the Green City at Lisi, and his unique architecture will make the lakes even more special for Tbilisi.
And well, we have the ambition to create a place that will remain a lasting legacy for the city for generations, standing as one of its finest developments.
Snohita is already in Georgia, and final project details are being agreed upon with the partners. Placemakers, meanwhile, is already developing new concepts as creators of places capable of transforming any location they touch into a city or national landmark. This has been proven in practice, and soon the familiar Lisi will have a new icon, the lake.
The Checkpoint is presented by GM Pharma, the first international multinational pharmaceutical company in Georgia. GM Pharma, to serve those who need it most.